What's going on, my fellow Dragon Ball fans? This is jbDAuchiha. As you see, I'm still getting the hang of this new house. There's nothing behind me. I don't have a new laptop, so it's not professionally edited or anything, but I had to talk about this movie. I'm a few days late because of work, other personal things, and Red Dead Redemption 2 a little bit, but I'm here now. And before I start, let me say that I'm going to make 2 videos about this movie. One being this one that you're watching, being the review with very minor spoilers, but nothing that will make you curse me out in the comments. Hopefully, I'm not going to talk about much that's not already in the trailers that everyone hasn't seen. And then the second video that I'll be uploading tomorrow will be about my top 5 favorite moments or most hype moments of this movie, because there are a lot. Like, this movie is just so good. First off, let me tell you guys about the experience this movie gave me. I love anime movies in theaters. It's so hype. So I went on January 19th, 2 days after my birthday. It wasn't the release day of the movie, so I thought, okay, there's going to be a lot of people here, but it won't be all packed. But I was wrong. Like, every single seat was sold out, and I'm glad I got my tickets like weeks ahead of time, because there were so many people at the door trying to get into this movie who got turned away, unfortunately, on the 3rd day. And I was thinking that, you know, people would usually watch it the first few days, but I couldn't because of work and whatnot. So I went when I could, and so I was thinking like, okay, it's gonna be packed, but not this packed. But it was. And just the hype in the actual theater when Broly, Goku, and Vegeta were duking it out at some epic moments that I'll go in detail in the other video. Man, like, people were getting up, people were clapping, people were laughing. Like, there's nothing like watching an anime movie with other anime fans who like the same thing as you do. And usually in a movie theater, if someone gets up and starts clapping and laughing, you'll be like, would you please shut up and sit the fuck down? But in these kind of movies, especially this one, it was actually encouraged. But let's get on with the actual review and why I think this movie itself is so awesome. Let me say that Broly's reimagining or retelling of Broly's story was well needed. And I didn't even know we needed this until I actually watched the movie. I mean, based on the trailers and all the articles that came out about the movie, it was obvious that Broly was being reimagined. And I was like, oh, okay, cool, Broly's coming back. But this literally made Broly one of my favorite characters, and I cannot wait to see what they do with this character next. I mean, Broly had a rough life. Like, I never really felt bad for Broly in any of the previous movies, but in this movie, his dad's an asshole. Paragus, I'll get to the Planet Vegeta stuff in a second, but Paragus was using him as a tool for revenge. I mean, that's not really new, but in this movie, just how he trained Broly and told Broly to shut the hell up and save your energy. Like, he wouldn't even let Broly talk. Like, it was really, really bad, and Paragus was not a good father at all. Now, the only thing he did good, I'd say, for Broly is actually when Broly was banished to that faraway planet, he did go rescue his son. But after he got there, he treated Broly more like an animal and more like a weapon, if anything, just so he could exact his revenge. So that really put a bad taste in my mouth about Paragus. And I know, like I said, that part isn't really new to Paragus's character, but how it's done in this movie without any spoilers, just know it was done way, way better. And Broly is much more fleshed out as a character. He has feelings. He really doesn't want to fight. His best friend, his first friend ever, was an animal on that planet. He's never drinking water. Like, you should see Broly's face when Chilai, who is like one of the best anime waifus now, by the way, gave him some water, and he's like, what is this? It's so delicious. And that just makes you feel like, dang, Broly really hasn't had any life besides fighting and eating bug guts. I mean, it's not really his father's fault that they're stuck on that planet, but I mean, you could tell that his dad really was more focused on his revenge than actually being a father to his son. Frieza, of course, is back in his asshole form. For those of you that were worried about him not being the evil asshole he's been after Super, the anime, rest assured, he's still on his BS. Like, he is downright despicable. This movie will actually make you hate Frieza at some points. And he actually gets what he deserves at some parts. It's really hilarious. That's going to be in the other video that I talked to you guys about. But Frieza is using the hell out of Broly. He is basically using Broly to kill Goku because I don't want to say he feels like he can't do it himself, but if he can watch 2 Saiyans kill each other or 3 Saiyans kill each other, then he's all for that kind of stuff. The trigger to make Broly go into the legendary Super Saiyan, Frieza is an asshole. I'm not going to go into that. Like I said, I don't want to give too many spoilers, but Frieza is no good. He's really, really cemented in this movie that he still is the same diabolical ass clown that we've grown to love and hate. Like, just because we saw him work together with Goku to defeat Jiren, that doesn't mean anything apparently, because Frieza is back alive and he's back on that crazy stuff. Let's talk about the most hyped thing in this movie, Broly versus the 2 legendary Saiyans, Goku and Vegeta. Now, when Vegeta went Super Saiyan God, like red-haired, I mean, everyone lost their shit in theater. Like, it was so hype, and a few other moments that I'll go into in another video, but just the fact that Broly, base form Broly, well, not even necessarily base form, he pretty much harnessed the energy of the great ape in his human form. So he was a super powered up, muscular version of himself. His hair didn't really change besides getting spiked up, but it looked really cool. Like, you can really tell that gave him a tremendous power boost. And just the fact that he could keep up with Super Saiyan God and Blue Goku in just that form without even turning into a Super Saiyan or anything at first, I'm like, dude, what is this man? Like, he is fighting off of instinct. Like, he's gone crazy, similar to, previous Broly movies and how Kale was in Super. He doesn't have any fighting training besides fighting wild animals. He's never been in a fight with other humans Saiyans or any other person until now, and he is whooping Goku and Vegeta's ass at some points. I'm talking about, I felt so bad for Goku. Goku was screaming and crying like it was like death wails. I was like, oh my goodness, Goku, get up, man. You cannot let this Saiyan who just showed up to your home planet do you like this, dog. I mean, Goku was getting the life beat out of him. I'm talking, my man Broly was literally Hulk smashing Goku into the ice, grabbing his face and slamming him into the icebergs or whatnot, which I believe is an homage to the original Broly movie when he did the same thing to Goku or Vegeta. I can't really remember. I haven't seen that movie in a long time, but it definitely seemed familiar. But anyway, Broly is a beast. He's nothing to be messed with, and man, I cannot believe at the end, Goku even says that he thinks he may be stronger than Beerus. I'm like, dude, this dude isn't even really in control of his power. He's just like spamming ki blasts from his mouth, just showing this absurd strength. But he's not like focused like Goku and Vegeta are, and he's still keeping up with them. And I'm like, whoa, like, if Goku trains this dude, or if he receives the proper training, there's no telling the potential that Broly could have. Now, the only time I can say that Broly truly struggled and could not get the upper hand was against when Goku and Vegeta fused. Gogeta was amazing. He was by far one of the most hyped things in this entire movie. It didn't last long, but it was long enough to make you go like, whoa. Like, after the movie, Gogeta and that fight with Broly was like the main thing that I talked about. Although there was more movie than that, there was a lot more things that happened in the Gogeta part. That was the main focus because Gogeta was awesome. Like Gogeta didn't struggle at all. Like, he was smiling most of the fight. And when he did make that serious face, it was over with. Like, Gogeta, Blue Gogeta at that, is one of the most OP characters I've seen in Dragon Ball. Like, he might be the strongest character in Dragon Ball. That's how insane he is. They brought the Stardust Breaker back. I mean, the theater was so hyped when Gogeta came out. It was amazing. And the animation of everything that was going on in that fight, just the entire movie was great in itself. Like, this animation was damn near flawless. There were some CG moments with like Goku and Vegeta flying, trying to get away from Broly, but it was like seamless. It was perfect. It looked like it belongs, because most of the time when CG is implemented into an anime or anything like that, it kind of stands out and looks kind of weird and blocky, but in this movie, it was perfect. Now let's talk about another really cool thing, kind of retconning the origin, well, not necessarily origin, but the destruction of Planet Vegeta. Like, basically, it's still the same. Frieza came, destroyed the Saiyans, Bardock died by doing one final blast at the huge Frieza ball, but it was kind of different because we got to see the Saiyans as more human. I mean, they're not humans, but you know what I mean. Like, it humanized them more. Like, they have a lot more feelings than have been portrayed in the past, because most of the time the Saiyans were considered to be like this savage race, but they're actually like worker Saiyans who don't even fight. There's some that work on ships. There's this one guy who went with Paragus to the planet to save Broly, unwillingly anyway, but he was just like a normal guy. He just had a tail. I mean, he was a Saiyan, of course, but not every Saiyan is a savage. And Goku's mom was a really awesome addition to this movie. Actually getting to see Gine in full motion, fully animated, hearing her voice, and seeing how sad she was when Bardock decided to send Goku to the to Earth, because he had a feeling Frieza was about to do some fuck shit. Like, it was amazing. Like, Gine is a really cool character. I mean, we didn't even see her fight or anything like that, but she's awesome. Like, that's Goku's mom. A lot of us have been wondering what Goku's mom would look like, what she would sound like. She's been revealed a few years back in some manga exclusive thing, I believe, but this is way different. You actually get to see the husband and wife, Gine and Bardock, being parents, and seeing Bardock actually be a father to Goku and looking out for him, sending him to Earth. It was really cool. It was really, like I said, even though they're not humans, humanizing of these characters, when we really haven't gotten too much of that before. I mean, Bardock has gotten some awesome development in like OVAs and movies in the past, but I really like how they did this Bardock. Like, he's like a prophet, man. He was the only one to stand up against Frieza, and it was really cool seeing King Vegeta and exactly how he hoped his son would turn out, and seeing Baby Raditz, seeing Nappa with hair. It was just really cool. Like, seeing all of the characters that we really don't hear from too much anymore. Like, even Bardock and Gine were talking about Raditz, you know, because that's Goku's brother, also their son. It just felt like, it felt natural. Like, they were a big family, and how Raditz was even talking about Goku being a low-class scum, and it was just really natural. It wasn't like forced cameos. It felt like this was the original origin story that we should have gotten, or even the one that we've gotten all along, but tweaked to perfection, because it was really good. Like, that Planet Vegeta scene, like seeing King Cold come in and say he's stepping down and his son Frieza is going to be in charge now, and how Frieza just said, "Hello, monkeys." I was like, bruh, this is exactly what I wanted to see. How he asserted himself to be like the big boss of the Saiyans. Like, he showed up, he did not play. I think he killed like 6 or 7 Saiyans in like his first 5 minutes of being there, just showing them how he's in charge. Like, Frieza was pretty much always this evil bastard from what we can see anyway. But I do like seeing a slightly younger Frieza without his armor, and it was just really cool, man. Like, the entire Planet Vegeta scene was awesome. Originally, when I saw the trailers and everything, and I saw the Planet Vegeta parts, I was like, okay, we've seen this like a million times. We know Frieza's gonna blow up the planet and whatnot. Bardock's gonna die. All the other Saiyans are going to die. So I was going into the movie thinking that I just wanted to see the fighting. But when we got into the Planet Vegeta part, like with all the Saiyans and how they were living and what they thought about Frieza, how like exactly what their living conditions are like, it was really cool, and I wasn't expecting that to be one of my favorite parts in the movie, because of course when we look at the trailer, we see Broly, we see Super Saiyan Blue Goku, we see Gogeta, we see all of that in the trailer. So you would think that, you know, that's the part that we will want to see, but I mean, all the other support characters were awesome. Like Chilai, I believe her name is. I forget if I'm pronouncing it right. I'm sorry. She was awesome. There's a few other characters. I can't really remember their names. I'm sorry. But like I said, the sand part was really cool. They're like slaves, like literal slaves under Frieza. Now, I'm not really going to go over the ending and what happened with Broly and whatever at the end, because of course there was a wish granted, because we see it in the trailer. It's not really spoilers. Like, if you haven't been living under a rock, you would have seen Shinron summoned at some point. I'll just say the ending really opens up a lot of possibilities for this anime whenever it starts back, or maybe a new movie, or whatever's going to happen with the future of Dragon Ball Super. I'll talk more about that in my spoiler full video tomorrow, so you guys have been warned. But there's a lot of things I want to talk about this movie that I can't say right now, because I promise you guys a not, spoiler-ish review. But there are a lot of moments that were not in the trailers that are really, really hyped. So definitely stay tuned to that video tomorrow. And I mean, they did such a good job with the marketing, because they gave us what the story was about. Of course, Broly's back. He's nothing to be fucked with. He's fighting Goku and Vegeta in their god forms in what seems to be his base form at the time. But there's a lot more to this movie than just that. And I have to say, it is my favorite anime movie, period, right now. It was definitely my favorite movie-going experience. Like, it was so hype. Like, I went to see the last Naruto the movie. I went to see the Boruto movie. I went to see Resurrection F. That's all on top of my head. But all of those were hype. Like, anime movies never disappoint when it comes to the actual crowd and audience getting into the movie. But this one, by far, was the most dope. I mean, there was even a girl. There was a girl in the theater, like an audience member. She had full-on Trunks cosplay with the sword and everything. Like, there was a lot of things like that. Everybody had on Dragon Ball-related shirts, Dragon Ball Super shirts, even, like, Goku wigs. It was crazy. It was like a mini, like, Comic-Con or Nerdicon just for Dragon Ball. It was really, really cool. So, I didn't think to go all out. I wore this shirt with Goku Black on it, but it was still cool. I was still Dragon Ball themed. I was appropriate for that movie. But I mean, that's really it. It was a great movie. The best anime movie that I've seen personally. Definitely the best Dragon Ball movie. The animation, the art, the music, the sound, the voice acting, it was all flawless. And it's not just the hype talking. There's a reason that this movie made so much in the first day. I think it made like 7 million. And you have to think about how many theaters this is in. It's not in that many theaters like normal movies are. There's only one theater in my city that this was showing in. There's like 1 or 2 per city, and just only a handful per state. So for it to make that much in the first day, like every single day it was showing, it was sold out. And Resurrection F, it wasn't as sold out. I mean, it was still pretty full, but not like this. I mean, people were standing up watching it, like on the side, like, because there weren't seats. I don't know how that happened, but it happened. And same thing with Naruto, both movies. It was hype, but it wasn't anywhere near as hype as this. Like, it seemed like, if you ever been to Atlanta, downtown Atlanta, how the traffic is, that's how it was getting out of that mofo. Like, it was so packed. It was such a good movie. Everyone was smiling and laughing. It just made you forget about everything else for a little while. And that's really what I watch movies for. But yeah, awesome movie. Broly's a badass. Seeing Vegeta go red Super Saiyan, regular Super Saiyan God for the first time animated was pretty cool. There's a few more moments about some transformations that I'll talk about in the video tomorrow. But yeah, that's pretty much my thoughts on the movie. It was amazing, epic, delicious, nutritious. Broly is officially the new Big Dick Saiyan out there. Like, I mean, just the fact that it took them to fuse into Gogeta, it's crazy. But anyway, this has been jbDAuchiha. Tell me what you guys thought about the movie if you've seen it. And I am out.